Namaste and welcome for today's webinar on Gita Vidya Bodhak with Sri Gopi V. Prasadji. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Gopiji. We have a smaller audience today on a Sunday, hopefully a dedicated group of people who are interested in the Gita. I've launched a quick poll. Let us know if got most of you filling it out, and I will share that shortly. If this is your first webinar, if you've attended before, if you've taken a course, or if you're in a program, and I'll share that. And today's topic, right, Gita Vidya Bodhak, is approaching the Bhagavad Gita from a slightly different perspective. And Gopiji has been teaching the Bhagavad Gita for, I think, decades now. And in this webinar, we're going to get into why and how to teach the Bhagavad Gita specifically for children. So we're going to talk about the current challenges, opportunities associated with knowledge transfer of the Bhagavad Gita, passing down that wisdom from generation to generation. And we're going to talk about the course as well. So Gopiji has actually created a new systematic way of teaching the Bhagavad Gita specifically for beginners. He's got this G education method that actually imparts Gita Vidya knowledge through courses. And he's developed unique tools for faculty guidance, so that Teach the Teachers program. And so he's doing this at his institution in Germany, and he's looking to expand it to schools, temples, cultural centers, yoga studios all around the world. Gopiji himself is an entrepreneur. He's got an MBA in global management from Bremen University of Applied Sciences in Germany. He was in banking insurance, but it's really about Hindu Dharma for him. I've seen him with his two daughters and how they're learning and teaching. And so he's been involved in education, including with the Sri Aurobindo School, and so many other institutions and communities and relationships he's built teaching and learning the Gita. And so with that, let me hand it over to Gopiji to get us started.
So I hope my voice is audible. Great. And namaste, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. Thank you, Ankurji, for those kind words and a very generous introduction. It's been a very nice, time and number of years spent together with Hindu University of America. I also got a very rare chance of meeting most of the board members in recently held World Hindu Congress in Thailand, in Bangkok. Quite an energizing team and very, supportive. So I'm glad to be part of this, and I will always cherish to be part of this. This webinar today is going to be a unique one. All my earlier webinars were inviting participants to listen to my lessons on Bhagavad Gita. But now this webinar is inviting you to teach these lessons further in your community, in your groups, or maybe simply at your home to your own children. So now, from being a student and being an aspirant of knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, I encourage you to look at the chances and opportunity of being a medium, being a Bodak, and conduct these courses to other participants, Having said that, the primary question comes up: has Gita been taught already in the society? Yes, of course. Many temples, even sometimes in schools, Bhagavad Gita is being taught. Most of the places I find is limited to the chanting of the shlokas. That itself is quite, uplifting in a way. But that alone won't be sufficient. At some point, we need to also dwell upon the meanings of these shlokas and try to see how we can adopt them in our daily life. So that thought was driving me all these years, which I've put in developing this course. Initially, it was, how can I transfer this wisdom to my own daughters? That's how the whole thing began, and all the outcome has been so encouraging, and it spanned out to be a full-fledged system of transferring the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to the younger generations. Today, I'm proud to say that we have about 100 Bodaks who got trained in India and some are already teaching, and some are going to start the teaching from the next academic year. They're all trained and ready for this. It takes very minimal effort, and one can become a Bodak. How? Because the whole course has been designed in that way. It has been designed in a way that by just following A, B, C, D steps, one can conduct the course seamlessly. So I would like to share some slides on the screen and then open up the floor for discussion. We could exchange some thoughts, basically. We are just concluding the first batch of Gita Vidya Bodhak training from Hindu University of America. Today has been the last class. I closed that session and switched on into this session. Maybe a couple of participants from that batch are also joined this webinar now. I would encourage them to raise their hands after the presentation and share their experiences with other students if possible. So having said that, let me now quickly bring this presentation onto the screen. Yeah. Great. So I hope these slides are visible.
Yep. Great.
Wonderful. The website is www.gitavidya.org, which is a resource pool, a single point where you find all the material, all the pre-recorded lessons, every input that relates to these courses is all available in one place. So that is the website to be remembered. I call my program these days, Ankurji, Purna Yoga Program. I initially started with Gita Vidya, but now I added up a fourth element to it. And now I started calling this program as Purna Yoga Program, which aims to broaden the understanding of yoga through 140 shlokas from Bhagavad Gita and 96 sutras from Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So I brought them together and put them into 21 thematic lessons. Each lesson is about one thematic topic, and this thematic topic is something that is related to our daily life situations. And so these 21 thematic topics will present the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita and the Patanjali Yoga Sutras in a perspective that you can use that in today's time. And I've structured these 21 lessons into 4 courses, which is Deha, Gnana, Yoga, and Jiva. So Deha course deals with the principles of sound body from Bhagavad Gita. Gnana course deals with the principles of sound mind. The Yoga course deals with the principles of pure soul from Bhagavad Gita. And the Jiva course deals with the techniques of optimal life from Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So that is the content. Now, when it comes to the delivery of this content, if this is the knowledge, then how to transfer this knowledge, that methodology to transfer this knowledge, I've devised a system which I call as a G education model. And that's what you see here in a box. So it has three things: G education model, which has sadhana, sodhana, vadana as its components. And then we have Purna Yoga material. We have published a range of textbooks and workbooks and project works and so on. I'm going to share the details of it. And then we have Purna Yoga delivery process, with the help of classwork, homework, and teamwork, how one can conduct these courses. Let me give a small experience of what these thematic lessons look like. Yeah. And what I've done is also created graphic illustrations to convey the meaning of the shlokas in a pictorial form. That seems to be the very unique aspect of my course, which I may say you may not find it anywhere else. And now you see on the screen here, there are a set of shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. And in Bhagavad Gita, every shloka ends with a number. There are two numbers in that set. One is the chapter number, and the second one is the shloka number in that chapter. That's how you pick up any Bhagavad Gita by any Acharya, these numbers remain the same. They are more or less constant in every version of Bhagavad Gita. Now, what I have done is I have cherry-picked shlokas from different chapters of Bhagavad Gita that relate to the topic called the nature. So the nature is the thematic topic. And I put them into groups here and translated that into pictorial form. This is also in the literary work. We call it as intersemiotic translation. Basically, in translation, there are three types of translation. Intralingual translation, where you translate within the same language from one format to the other, which means from poetry to prose or prose to poetry. But the language will remain the same. The second type of translation is called interlingual translation, where you translate from one language to the other. And Bhagavad Gita has been translated to about 80, 90 languages already. The third type of translation is where you translate the verbal knowledge or the description into non-verbal signals, images, graphics, etc. And that is what I've done with Bhagavad Gita. I followed the intersemiotic translation technique and created all these lessons. Now, this is not something new. It's quite old. In fact, if you see the textbooks of your children, even your textbooks when you were children, they had some image in between the lesson that conveyed the essence of the lesson in a pictorial form. You pick up any textbook or, these diagrams are quite common, and that is nothing but intersemiotic translation. Now, let me chant these shlokas and briefly present the meaning to give you an essence, an experience of how these lessons look like. Punyo gandha prativyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu yadaditya tejo jagad bhasayate akhilam yacchandramasi yacchagnau tattejo viddhimamakam Gama vishyacha bhutani dharayamyahamo pushnami chaushadhi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. So these are the three shlokas which are in the group A, and you see the graphic interpretation of that in image A. Basically, what the meaning of these three shlokas is that Bhagavan is saying that I am the radiance in the sun, I am the radiance in the moon, and I am the radiance in the fire. It is with my power that this whole creation is existing. And Bhagavan also says that Gama Vishyacha Bhutani, by pervading into the beings, I hold them together with this planet Earth. And the whole nature and all the vegetation is happening because of the sunlight and moonlight. And the power by which the sun and moon are illuminating is because of my power, says the Bhagavan. So that is about the nature around us. Now, the next subsequent shlokas are going to talk about the nature of us as human beings. Every human being has an innate nature. And that is what is explained in the next subsequent shlokas. Daivi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya metantarantite rajastamascha vibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata rajas sattvam tamaschaiva tamas sattvam rajastatha. Now, these are the set of shlokas from group B, and you see the image B as a graphic interpretation of that. The meaning of the shloka is that Bhagavan is saying, Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi, transcendental in nature and filled with material energies, 3 gunas. That is the whole creation. And it is my Maya, and it is very difficult for somebody to penetrate this Maya. Why? Because there are 3 gunas in every one of us. They are Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. Each guna has certain characteristics. One of the gunas at one point in time takes domination on the other 2. And this fight for dominance continuously happens between these 3 gunas. And that's why at sometimes the Rajo Guna is on the dominance of the Sattva and Tamas. Sometimes the Sattva Guna is on the dominance of Rajas and Tamas, and sometimes the Tamo Guna is in the dominance of Rajas and Sattva. And because of this guna which is driving us as a dominant guna in our body, we behave accordingly. And that's why you might have seen the same person behaves differently in different situations or different times of the day. In the morning, he was so fine, nice, talking so nicely. In the evening, I don't know why he gone so crazy. Well, in the morning, the Sattva Guna was in the dominance, and in the evening, it was the Tamo Guna, which was in the dominance. So the influence of the Guna on the human beings is so powerful that it is difficult to penetrate the influence of this. But by a person who surrenders and embarks the path of self-realization, this is possible, says the Bhagavan. Now, how am I to understand which guna is dominating me at this point in time? Or even, for that matter, in the others around me? And there are certain descriptions given in the next set of shlokas. Now, the shloka C. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate gnanam yada tada vidyat dvivruddham sattvamityuta. When from all the gates of this body, a divine illumination is happening, the knowledge is flowing, then we can understand that Sattva Guna is in the dominance in the body. Now, what are the gates of the body? Basically, your eyes, ears, mouth, what you speak is so nice. And the way the whole body is looking is so, radiating and very pleasing under the influence of Sattva Guna. What happens in the Rajo Guna? Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanamashamaspruha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshabha. So the image C was the example for Sattva Guna. Now the image D is a graphic illustration for the Rajo Guna. Under the influence of Rajo Guna, there is a lot of passion towards accomplishing the material comforts, drives us. One becomes so focused on earning money or name or fame. So this drive towards action in the human body is coming because of the dominance of Rajo Guna. Then to the last is the Tamo Guna, and the graphic illustration E and the shloka E here. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. Aprakasho, apravrutti, no illumination, dull and very, and apravrutti, no action, idle, lazy. In addition, pramado, getting into some risky situations, moha, madness. And this is all happening because of the rise of Tamo Guna, the dominance of Tamo Guna in the body. So I have gone quite fast on this, just to give you a short experience about how my lessons look like. So I guess I was successful in giving a small impression of each thematic lesson. And there are 21 such lessons, which are into 3 courses, Deha, Gnana, Yoga, and the 4th is Jiva. Great. Now, having given an idea about the content, let me now give you the idea about the delivery process. How do we transfer this knowledge to the younger generation or anybody who is making their first attempt to understand Bhagavad Gita? So that's why I call my course as Bhagavad Gita for beginners. A beginner could be a child or an elder, doesn't matter. As long as you are making your first baby steps towards understanding Bhagavad Gita, my course will be more appropriate for such kind of people. Now, I've designed a model of education before designing the whole course. And this model of education I designed based on my experience with the Indian Gurukul system of education and the Western system of education, particularly the German system of dual education. I've been living in Germany since 2006. It's been 17 years here. And in this time, about for 3 to 5 years, I did a very dedicated research on how the system of education functions here. And that led to a realization of a fact that a blend of both systems can be useful in making the knowledge transfer, particularly for topics such as Bhagavad Gita. And that's what I created this model, which I call as G education model. And it stands on the principle called Trai Vidya Chatussiksha Panchamedha. Basically 3 components of learning, which are sadhana, sodhana, vadana, 4 components of coaching, sutra, chitra, paribhasha, and prayog, 5 components of intellect, drushya, shravana, gandha, ruchi, and sparsha. Well, I don't have time to go in detail about all of this, but this is what you get to know more in the Deha course. I will briefly touch upon the 3 components of learning, sadhana, sodhana, vadana. In sadhana, we are going to engage in activities such as shravana, which is hearing, patana, which is reading, manana, reflecting. So all these 3 are part of the sadhana process. And then sodhana is, the meaning of sodhana is investigation, to go into deeper insights of it. And there we have a set of activities like varna, adding colors to the graphic illustrations and getting to know more about it. Visleshana, analyzing that graphic illustration, analyzing the knowledge that you are getting through that. And Anveshana is to searching for even deeper by studying Bhagavad Gitas of different acharyas, for example. So Varna, Vishleshana, Anveshana is part of Sodhana process. And the last is Vadana, which is debate and discussion. Yeah. And there we have activities such as Charcha, discussion, and this is done in groups of 3 students in one group. Then Samiksha, which is inspection, to check where this knowledge can be applied in our daily life. Pariksha is examination. So this is the model of G education. And then you see the Purna Yoga material. We have textbooks, workbooks, and project works designed for this. So the first one here, what you find is textbook. There's one single textbook for all the 4 courses, which Deha, Gnana, Yoga, Jiva, the shlokas and the sutras, they're all available in one single textbook. And this textbook is available in 33 languages. Basically, we have done transliteration textbooks to suit every person to be able to read the Sanskrit shlokas using their own native language. We have designed workbooks which have graphic illustrations, and there are a lot of activities inside the workbook using which one can understand the deeper meanings of the shlokas and sutras. And then there are project works conducted. So basically this is the project work, and there is a task to be complete, coloring and copywriting the shlokas and presenting the summary of it in a classroom. And then evaluation is done on a parameter of 4: shloka writing, shloka recitation, shloka summary, and graphic illustration. And then those scores are graded. So this is how the material has been designed. And another unique aspect about this material is all of it has QR codes. So you have a mobile phone with access to internet. You can do this, recitation of the shlokas. You can just scan the QR codes in the textbooks. It opens up a video that recites all those shlokas. And along with that recitation, you can also see the graphic illustration. Every textbook, every page has a different QR code, which is for that particular lesson. And likewise, in workbooks, we have QR codes. You scan the QR code. That lesson of these graphic illustration, part 1 of lesson 1 is available in a pre-recorded video. The whole video comes and plays. You can watch it anytime, any number of times. And then you scan the QR code on the project work page. The whole lesson can be revisited once again. So we have brought the modern tools of learning into play and made the eternal wisdom of Bhagavad Gita transferable through the modern tools of knowledge transfer. Well, we spoke about the G-education model. We spoke about the material. Now we speak about the delivery. How do we conduct the classes? So these are the textbook, workbooks, and project work. Now you see in the G-education model, we spoke about sadhana, sodhana, vadana. The sadhana process is accomplished using textbooks in the classwork. So there is a direct correlation to each part of the activity. Yeah. And then the sodhana work is done using workbooks as homework. The vadana process is done through project works in teamwork. So this matrix is giving you a clear idea about the model of education, the content, and the delivery process. And where do you find all of this? This is the website. This is the same website. Basically, the screenshots I've presented here. So in each lesson, we have, I will click the website. Basically, it opens up. So this is the Gita Vidya website. And there, if you go, you have all the material information explained here. In fact, if I click this video, it shows how to conduct the e-classes. Yeah, so maybe are you able to listen the sound?
यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वसोऽपि तत् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि सत्यं ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽसि मे स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वशोऽपि तत् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि सत्यं ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽसि मे
Namaste and welcome. In this video, I'm going to explain the meaning of two shlokas from Bhagavad Gita and the corresponding graphic representation can be found here in the screen here. Let's get to the shlokas. स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वशोऽपि तत्. This is shloka number 60 from chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita. The meaning of this shloka is as follows. Swabhavajena kaunteya, driven by one's own nature, O son of Kunti, saying the Bhagavan to Arjuna. Swabhava, the innate nature of a person, the innate character of a person, the guna of a person, all this is swabhava. Driven by swabhava. So this is the swabhava makes a person to behave in certain way. Swabhava compels or inspires a person to do certain things, certain actions. Nibaddha swena karmana, bound by that swabhava and one's own duty. Swena karmana, self duty. Every person has a duty to perform based on the kind of job he is doing, based on the role that he is playing in the family. Every person has swena karmana, a personal responsibility, one's own duty. So there are two things that are strikingly coming forward here in this shloka. One is swabhava, that is the innate nature, guna of a person. The second is swena karmana, the self-responsibility of a person. These two put together, kartum nechasi yanmohat, what you do not want to do out of delusion, karishyasya vashopi tat, you will do them because of your innate nature.
Very good.
So that was basically a 7 minutes video, which is a demo video about how to conduct the e-classes. And that is basically available on the same website, gitavidya.org. And then here in this website, you will also find more information like what is sadhana, sodhana, vadana, what does it mean? And then the description about the courses, what is Deha course all about? What is Gnana course all about? What is Yoga course all about? What is Jiva course all about? Yeah. And then each course can be found in the e-courses list. Click on Deha course, and then the entire details about the learning objective of Deha course, the course material. In fact, we have even designed the course calendar. All that you have to do as a Bodak, just download the PDF version of it. The names of the lessons, part 1, part 2, part 3 are already listed on the right-hand side. We just have to fill the date and time when are we going to conduct this particular class and share it with your students and conduct the classes. So everything is systematically designed. And then each lesson is split into 3 parts. Each lesson has not more than 8-9 shlokas, but even that we have split into 3 parts. And we are suggesting that conduct 1 part per week. That's more than sufficient. Each part has not more than 3 shlokas, maximum 4 shlokas. So in a week's time, the sadhaks, the students, will have to learn the recitation of 3 shlokas, understand the meaning of 3 shlokas, and copyright them and do the workbook. That's it. Which means we are presenting Bhagavad Gita through modern tools of learning in very biteable chunks, not overloading them at any point in time. And this is basically all the pre-recorded lessons available. You have seen the calendar. In the calendar, let us say you have fixed the date and time for part 1 of the lesson 1. On that day, you just click this particular video and the class is conducted. So the whole class will conduct from here. So it is all available as pre-recorded lesson. That's why we are saying conducting the class, not teaching. There is a difference between teaching and conducting the class. Teaching is you need to become master of the content before you can teach. But when we have created this entire thing in this manner, all we are expecting the Bodhaks to do is to conduct the class. And for the short preparation of that, so let us say next week is the part 1 class. It is just 3 shlokas. As a teacher's preparation, you can just prepare these 3 shlokas in advance and be there in the class. If there are any related questions, you can handle them. So how to go about this in detail is explained in the Bodak course. I encourage you to join the Bodak course by Hindu University of America to get more insights about each aspect that I'm just flying away now. I know I'm rushing through all different concepts, different names and nomenclatures, but this is the time Ankur has given me, and so I can only explain the highlights of it. But if you find these highlights interesting, if you see the spark that yes, you can also become a Bodhak and spread this divine wisdom to the younger generations, all you have to do is to enroll for this course, and then we go in detail about each course, each lessons. I'm going to present the summary of each course during the Bodak course. So this is the Deha course, and then likewise we have all the material of the Gnana course available. So all the videos of Gnana and the pre-recorded sessions of the Gnana course available, which means we have the content for the next 4 years. Yeah, 1 course for 1 academic year, and we have 4 courses. You being a Bodak, you can already envision yourself for the next 4 years occupied with your community, spreading this wisdom. Yeah, so it is very long time I've been working on this. Now everything is ready. It is just has to be spread around, and it can be scaled up to any level. We can collectively start teaching about 100,000 students at a time. Quite possible. The model is designed in a way that it can be scaled up to any limit. Now, the most important part, you click on the publications page, and this is where you find all the workbooks and textbooks. This is what I was saying, like the transliteration textbooks have been designed in 33 languages. They're all freely available. The whole course is provided free of cost. Only the Bodak course you have to join Hindu University of America to become a Bodak, to get certified as a Bodak. But when you teach the students in your community, in your temple or in your schools, the course is free. The Gita Vidya Peetham is charging $0 for course fees. Then all this material is freely available. It is available in Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Bhojpuri, Kashmiri. All these languages are available. For example, if you're a Tamil speaking person or a Telugu speaking person, just click the Telugu version and you will start seeing the shlokas in Telugu script. Yeah. So this is what you see. The shloka is a Sanskrit shloka, but we have transliterated that shloka using the Telugu alphabets. Likewise, Devanagari, the Hindi alphabets. So the whole course is available in multiple transliteration textbooks. So even we have it in English for people who are living in America. If the students or children can only understand the English alphabets, no problem. The shlokas are available in Roman script. So they just have to, Punyo Gandha Prithivyam. So the whole thing is available there in the transliteration textbooks in this format. And then at the end, I just want to show what we have been doing all these days in the news highlights. My journey together with Hindu University of America dates back to 2019, 2020. Since then, I've been working closely by teaching Deha Gnana courses. And now we're offering Bodak course from here. And this is all what we have done. So this is the teachers seminar that I've conducted in Hyderabad for the teachers of corporate schools. And this is Amma Ashram, S. Vyasa University. This is Ashram we have established in Germany. I've been meeting all different people. Like I met Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Guruji, and they liked the course. They have implemented my course in all their schools. They have 98 schools in India. All schools are adopting Gita Vidya course there. And this is when the president of ICCR, which is under Ministry of External Affairs, Vinay Sahasrabuddhi ji, he visited Germany. He came to our ashram, went through Gita Vidya setup. I met the Dharmendra Pradhan, education minister at the time. We presented the course. They're working on the modalities of introducing this to all the schools in India. So we'll be offering it free for any number of schools. And Kalyanji here talking about the inauguration of the Gita Vidya Center in Germany. He was kind enough to send across his greetings through video message. Yeah, so much. Now we'll open up the floor for questions. Yeah, Ankurji, my presentation is over. Let's take questions.
Great. Yeah, so please put your questions in the Q&A box. I see about 4. Vishweji wants to talk about their book. Yeah, maybe we can talk offline and have a different presentation. Sorry, Uditji, I think the presentation was visible. Maybe you have to minimize and maximize. Priyaji, yes, we'd like to collaborate with you. We'll send you an email. Tarunaji is asking, can this model be clubbed with our own teachings, or is it a requirement to stick with this format as a Bodak?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have some other courses like yoga courses or other courses going on, you could include it as part of your offerings, And that's basically what's happening in the schools. They're anyway teaching science, mathematics, social studies. In addition to it, they're offering the Gita Vidya course once in a week as part of co-curricular activities. So definitely, yes.
Great. I'm launching, I put in the chat the details of the course. It's going to be on Sundays about this time, a little bit earlier, 1 hour earlier. It's going to start on April 14th. Let me launch this quick poll. Let us know if you are interested in enrolling. I see a couple more in the Q&A box. Yes, Priyaji got your email. Thank you. Durnaji, Priyaji, Udipji. Okay. We are not teaching the Nepali language right now. We were trying to expand our language programs. We have Sanskritam. We tried to launch a Hindi program, but it did not have students. We weren't able to get enough traction. So in this course, Bodak, the Gita Vidya teacher training, you don't have to know Sanskritam, but as part of this, you end up learning it pretty in depth. And if you're going to teach the Bhagavad Gita, right, you should be able to understand many layers of the shlokas and not just one translation. Gopiji, do you want to talk about that and how there are different translations, different interpretations, and then how you, not tied to a single sampradaya or a single interpretation, but like you try to apply it in daily life?
Yeah. So the reason why I ended up doing the intersemiotic translation of Bhagavad Gita and putting that into image format, because when I wanted to translate the shlokas, and before that I studied the translations of 10 different acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and Adi Shankaracharya. So there were like Advaita, Visishta Advaita, and Dvaita Sampradayas. And then I went on to study of translations from, Karma Yoga perspective by Balagangadhar Tilak, the Gita Rahasya. From the Jnana Yoga perspective, we have translations by Chinmayananda Saraswati Maharaj. And then from Dhyana Yoga perspective, we have translation by Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh Divine Life Society Ashram. From Bhakti Yoga perspective, we have so many more, and one of which is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, or the founder of ISKCON. And then there is another perspective of integrating all these four paths and saying that all these four don't happen in isolation. So we have integral yoga perspective by Sri Aurobindo. He did not translate verse by verse, but he has something called essays on Bhagavad Gita. I went through them. And then we have translations by Annie Besant, and there is New York State University has a literary translations of it. So after having gone through all these, what I came to realize is that if I start penning down my translations, invariably I will fall into one of these versions. But how can I make sure that I can still stay neutral and be complementary to all the profound work that has already gone in? There's no need to reinvent the wheel. It is all there. But how could I make a system that can take everything into account and also stay neutral and provide an opportunity for transfer of the knowledge? And that's when I started doing the graphic illustrations. So a picture speaks 1,000 words, and at the same time, it doesn't mention any words. So there is no risk of being marked as this sampradaya or that sampradaya. We encourage students to pick up Bhagavad Gita of their choice. You just follow the format, pick up the shlokas from your choice of Bhagavad Gita, take the translations from your choice of Bhagavad Gita, write a summary based on your understanding. So it is full freedom in terms of how you develop this knowledge from within.
No, I like that answer. Complementary and supplementary to what already exists. That's great. We've got Professor Dr. Vikram Dev Acharya. He's asking that general question: how can we get justice with the help of the Gita? So maybe some of those, I know you got into it, the broader lessons of the Gita, how does it apply? And then maybe I can unmute you, Professor, if you want to articulate anything. But if you want to start with that answer, Gopiji, and then Dr. Acharya can get in there if he wants.
I didn't get the question. Please, once again.
Just that, how do you get justice with the Gita? How does the Gita help you get justice?
Get justice for yourself. Yeah. See, the whole Gita, from all the shlokas, nowhere it says anything as absolute right or absolute wrong, absolute bad or absolute good. And Gita is not judgmental in its view of the world. It is providing all different versions of it and giving the choice for us, take up the path, giving us the caution of the outcome at the end. So Gita is not judgmental in its own view. And how do we get justice? Well, what more can be a more justified way of looking at at the life without judging anything at first instance, rather experiencing it first. Yeah, so I think that is the more justified way of living.
Nice. So I launched that poll. I see somebody is in this program that's already enrolled. I don't know if there are previous students joining us. If you want to put your hand up or put in the chat, I can unmute you, give you permission to speak, and you can share your experience. Dr. Acharya, you have the permission to unmute yourself, Vikram Devacharya, if you want to ask your question. If anybody wants to verbalize a question, please raise your hand in the participant window, and then I can give you that ability. Dilip G from Maryland, thank you for joining. Always appreciate you and your consistency. So the course is going to be about $300, not about. It is a $300 course, Tarunaji. It's a 1.5 credit hour course. And again, it comes with the learning management system and everything that Gopiji has talked about on the Gita Vidya Bodhak side, or on the Bodak side, and also on the learning management side of HUA. Vinitaji, you only got the first little bit of your question in. I don't know if you have the rest that you want to ask. Eleanor is asking, how long to complete the course before being able to teach? The Bodak course starts in the spring quarter. It's a 1 quarter course, right? Or is it 2 parts? It's 1 part.
One part.
One part. And it depends on interest. If it's offered next quarter, when it's offered. We had a lot of interest last quarter, so we're offering it 2 quarters in a row. And it's summer, so this is a good time for teachers and people who are interested in learning to teach to get engaged. So Eleanor, we'll see if and when we offer it again, but it's contingent upon interest and enrollment.
So the moment you enroll into the course, we call you already, we start calling you already as Sahabodak. A Sahabodak is one who is under training. And with the help of what you're getting to learn from the Bodak course, the course itself enables you to start teaching, because one of the project work inside the course is to pick up 10 students or 3 to 10 students and apply what we are teaching in the Bodak course, which means the moment you enroll into this course, you already started becoming a Bodak.
Okay, great. Bishweji, I'll send you an email or put your email in the chat separately, and we'll connect on your book and maybe a way that we can collaborate with you. But that's what HOA is, right? We look to partner and create platforms and address concerns. There is this interest widely about how do we teach the Gita, not just learn it, but there's so many people. And so Gopiji, again, through his decades and years with HOA, has come to this course, and it is a wonderful opportunity to learn, engage, and then share our Dharma. And so kind of paying it forward. And Gopiji, thank you so much for doing this and being a part of HOA. It is my pleasure. I don't think we have any other questions. I'm looking through the Q&A box. It's kind of your last chance. Right, the course says it's first of 4-part series. So in the one course, you go through the 4 parts, right?
It is said because after the Bodak course, we normally recommend to go through the in-detailed courses on Deha course, Jnana. That is when from Sahabodak, one becomes a Bodak. So a Sahabodak is one who is just a teacher under training, and we recommend them to go through Deha course, Jnana course, Yoga course, as and when time permits. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to do them all in one go or things like that. But then whichever the day that you manage to finish these courses, you graduate to become a Bodak from Sahabodak.
Great. All right, Gopiji, it's time to come to the end of our webinar. Again, I said it and I will say it again. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, with Gopiji, with the faculty that we're developing at HUA, the program, and of course, the support we're getting from students, from donors, from just activists, webinar goers. However it is that you want to participate and support, we at HUA are trying to build a platform for all Hindus. And this is our university. This is your university. So please participate. for your own benefit, for your own dharmic development. So with that, please take this course. I'll drop it in the chat one more time, and then I will give it to Gopiji for some closing thoughts.
Yeah. I also see among the participants, some of you have already taken the Deha course earlier or Gnana course earlier. Now you come take the Bodak course and complete it. So we will take into account the fact that you have already completed the Deha course in the past and Gnana course in the past. Now by completing Bodak course, you are already Bodak. So I encourage people who have attended my courses earlier also to take up this opportunity to complete the loop by becoming a Bodak. And for the new ones who want to test this, it is definitely the easiest and more systematic way of imparting the eternal wisdom to our younger generations. Come join us. Let's make a difference together. Let's bring this valuable wisdom to our younger generations and let them benefit from the value of it. Yeah. So thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Dhanyavad.